You've probably heard that French cuisine often ranks as one of the best cuisine in the world, though in my opinion, clearly not the best. I mean, in the top, but not the best. But do you know that, well, certain of its most iconic recipes, they were actually made by mistake? That's what we're going to talk about today. Bonjour tout le monde, I'm Cassie, your French tutor, so you can discover France the French way. And you can already give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want more stories about French culture and the French language. And today we're diving into French cuisine, but with a twist, because we're talking about 5 recipes that were entirely created by accident. Alors t'es prêt? On y va. The first story is about a recipe that I don't eat that often personally, but I do love it, especially with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. I'm talking about la tarte tatin. If you don't know what it is, let me explain, or let me show you. It is a delicious apple pie, but upside down and caramelized like everything I love. You mostly eat it a bit warm, so the contrast is perfect when you have your scoop of ice cream. Anyway, for the story, imagine that we are in 1898 in Sologne. So it is in the center of France. More specifically, we are in La Motte-Beuvron, in the Hotel Tatin. And in this hotel, you have 2 sisters working, Stéphanie and Caroline. So imagine, they are super busy in the kitchen because they have a horde of hungry customers waiting in the dining room. And Stéphanie, who is very famous for her apple pie, well, she is even more in a hurry. And guess what? She forgot the pastry of the pie. Like, she just put all the apples, but nothing else. But they don't have time. So her sister is telling her, like, just, you know what? Add the pastry now and we'll try to flip it upside down. And guess what? It worked.
Oh non, j'ai oublié la pâte. Pas de panique, mets là-dessus et enfourne. On verra bien ce que ça donne. Bonne idée. J'espère que les clients aimeront.
Can you imagine the sisters' surprise when they just took the tray out of the oven and they saw this beautifully caramelized pie? Like, of course, they had to flip it. But, I mean, what a relief with all the customers waiting. And that's funny because it just became their signature dish. So, lesson for you, even when you screw up, maybe it's not a screw up. Maybe it will become something amazing, especially if you add a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Usually, I'm not a big fan of wines from Bordeaux, especially reds. I prefer them from further down south. But for Sauternes and other wines, like sweet wines like that, Bordeaux is actually excellent. Though I do prefer Montbazillac, Sauternes is really, really good. And about this one, we have 2 legends. So I'm gonna tell you both and you pick the one you prefer. Keep in mind, they are only legends. Nothing is for sure here. So the first story takes place in 1836, a bit before the Tatin sister. We are in the region of Bordeaux, and I guess a merchant, wine, like vineyard owner, something called Floch. He decided to wait until the end of autumn because this year it was raining. I'm telling you, it was pouring. And he just decided to wait. Like, let's see. I mean, either it is a complete waste or we can do something with it. So let's just try. And at the end of autumn, when the rain kind of stopped and they could harvest the grapes, they realized that noble rot actually grew, developed on the grapes. They still tried to make the wine, and you know what happened? It was sweet and so delicious. That's how Sauternes was born, allegedly. The second story involves another character, un marquis. And it was a few years later, in 1836. So apparently, le marquis, nobleman, he was in a hunting trip in Russia and he was delayed. But he was a proud man and he communicated with his employees or his people saying that they should just wait until his return to harvest the grapes. And he arrived, well, quite late. When he arrived, they all realized that noble rot, once again, developed on the grapes. And now, I guess you know the result. It was amazing.
C'est moi qui ai créé le sauterne. Mais c'est faux, archi faux. Je suis le créateur du vin sauterne. N'importe quoi.
Okay, to be fair, nowadays historians they tend to say that it must have been teeny tiny bit more complicated than that. But what isn't? Like, of course, it's not as easy as somebody who forgot something. But you know what? It's just less fun to tell. So for the next one, we talk about the Quignomon, which is, I think, really one of my favorite pastries. So it is from Brittany, where I was born in the northwest of France. And oh my god, it is so good. You have no idea. Basically, what is it? It is bread dough with butter and sugar. So how could it not be amazing? At least to me it is. So imagine you are in 1860 in Douarnenez. So it is the west, the far west of France. And this baker, Yves René Scordia, I know the name does not really sound Britain, but he was. So this baker, apparently, he was running low on pastries. And that man was resourceful. So what did he do? He had leftovers, he had dough, he had a big amount of butter, and he had sugar. So he mixed all that up, baked it, and oh my god, it's just amazing. Seriously, you have to try. I can only imagine the smell in that bakery. And just one thing, a lot of French people, they say Quignaman. My sister, she told me, no, it is Quignaman. Like, the pronunciation matters here.
Bah, y a plus de gâteau. Que faire? Utilise ce qu'on a. Pâte à pain, beurre, sucre, je sais pas. Improvise.
Can you imagine that Yves René, the dear old Yves René, in his bakery in Douarnenez, like, he was desperate because he had nothing left for his customers. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but he just created a masterpiece out of basically nothing. So what an inspiration! Like better than all the podcasts you see sometimes on the internet, like, you know, like, sleeping is for the weak, you have to do it now, like, whatever. Just take bread dough, butter, sugar, you will create a masterpiece. And what actually is now one of the symbol, almost, of Britain's cuisine. Seriously, you ask French people who are not from the region what they know about Britain's food, they're probably gonna tell Quignomon, with the wrong pronunciation. Okay, this one, not gonna lie, I hate it. Oh my god, I hate it from the bottom of my heart. Actually, all my organs, seriously, because it is blue cheese. Well, Roquefort. Like, it's mold, everyone. Like, the blue thing, it is mold. Ugh. But the legend is that in Roquefort, so it's actually a place, a shepherd, you know, he was eager to meet his lover and he just forgot his lunch. So it was made of bread. I mean, yeah, you're talking about France, right? Of bread and sheep cheese. And you know, time was just flowing with his lover. And I guess he didn't have to eat for days, or they ate something else somewhere else. But the fact is that when he came back, well, the cheese was contaminated with something. And for some reason, don't ask me why, he tried it. Apparently he didn't die, and to him it was good. And that's how, according to the legend, le fromage Roquefort was born.
Oh non, j'ai oublié mon repas. Mais quand? Il y a plusieurs jours déjà. Tu sais, je pense pas qu'il restera quoi que ce soit à manger alors.
You probably get it by now, but just in case, I hate it. I do not understand how people saw this stinky, moldy thing and thought, ooh, I will try. Ooh, tastes delicious. Nope. But I'm gonna stop now, otherwise my family would just disown me. the last one is the iconic, at least for French people, I don't know if it was exported anywhere else, but the iconic carambar. What is it? It is like it is pretty much candy or like caramel bar. Let me tell you. So you have like a bar and it is made of caramel and cocoa. It's good. Of course it's good. Well, then your teeth, they're glued together, but it's really good. So for this story, we are in 1954 in the north of France. More specifically, we are in Marc-en-Barœul, I guess. Sorry if that's not how you pronounce it. And even worse, I'm probably gonna butcher the name of the factory. Sorry, everyone. So the factory was named Delespol Ave. I truly have no idea. I just discovered it for this video. I knew carambar, loved it. I had no idea it was made by mistake. But we'll discover what happened. And this story is actually quite simple. It is a malfunction of a machine. Like it had caramel, cocoa, and for some reason it mixed it and made long bars instead of the usual square candy it used to create. But you know, people working there, they were not fools. They knew, that was something. Okay, let's not throw it away and let's try it out.
Oh bah, la machine est détraquée. Elle fait des barres au lieu de carrés. Ouais bon, ces barres, elles sont vachement bonnes. On devrait les garder comme ça. On les appelle, je sais pas, carambar.
You know how certain people are scared that the machines are going to just rule over the world, etc.? Like this machine deciding to create carambar, like rule whatever you want. I'm in for it. And one thing, do you understand the name carambar? Well, square is un carré et une barre, bah une barre. Donc carambar. Yes, carré en barre, but also caramel en barre. Clever. It had an apostrophe up until 1984, and then the apostrophe was just dropped, and since then we have the name carambar that stuck. So to be honest, all that, they are more legends than historical facts, but I thought they were funny. And to be fair, nobody was there to know what happened for real. But I thought I would share these stories with you. And they're just good excuses to talk about French treats and cuisine, right? So, except Roquefort. And if you want to try Roquefort, why not? Which one do you want to try? So, tell me in the comment section. And if you like these stories, don't forget to give a thumbs up to this video and subscribe, or even share the stories with your friend. And if you feel hungry right now, I highly advise that you go to the kitchen, cook something, and if you want to cook in French with me, you can check this video next. Et c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. À la semaine prochaine. Salut!